I'm Leonie from the Wool Bar, and today I'm going to teach you how to sew up seams using the mattress stitch method. This is by far the easiest method and it's definitely my favourite. I use it on nearly every occasion. So let's get started. When you're sewing with mattress stitch, you need to have the right side of the work facing upwards. So I've got the two pieces that are going to be sewn together, side by side but right side up. The needle that you need to use needs to have a blunt tip, because if it's sharp it will separate the yarn, it will break into it. So a blunt tip is always best. I like this one, which is a blunt tip also, but it's got a little bit of a bend, so you see the little bit of a kink in the end. It just means I can pick up the loops a little bit more easily. Now normally I would use a bit of yarn that's still attached to the work, because that saves me work at the end when I have to sew in all my ends. So if I use one of those ends to sew the seam, that sort of saved me one step. And I'm lazy. I'm always looking for a step saver. But today, for the purpose of you seeing where I've gone, I'm using a contrast colour. So I'm using black yarn. Now we're going to go in to one side of the work and pick up a V. So it's two loops which make one stitch, and they kind of look like a little bit of a V. And on the other side I'm going to do the same thing, pick up another V. On this side, go back into the same hole that I came out of and pick up a V. The little tail here wants to go in there too, but it can't. Onto the other side, into the V. Starting point is always where you see the yarn that came out before. So see what I'm getting? A little bit of a lacy, zigzaggy sort of look, like if you were lacing up boots almost. So always back into the same hole the yarn came out of. So then we can go back over here, pick up the next two, always picking up the same number, and here. I'll just show you what that's creating. So you can see a little bit of a zigzag thing happening, going in a straight line on both sides, always going back into the same hole. Now if I pull on both ends, something magic happens. See that? Beautiful seam, really lovely even seam. Now I'll just pull the last one out so that I can see where I've gone. And normally I would just leave the last one loose and then pull it as I go. But I was wanting to show you the zigzag approach, so that's why I wasn't pulling it that way. I did a few first. So I'll pull it as I go now and just be looking for where the last one is. And then going into that, the same and the same over there. So if you see, it's still that lacy look. I'll pull it out. There we go. Leave that last one out. And there you have your mattress stitch. You just keep going until you've finished, gone to the end. So I'll pull that tight. There we go. You can see that lovely, lovely seam. It's normal seam on the back, but it's beautiful and even, and you match stitch for stitch, row for row that way. Isn't that just the best way to sew up? I think it's so easy. I use it all the time. Now, if you like this video, click on the subscribe button, have your notifications turned on, and then you'll be notified every time I make a new video, and I'll be doing a heap of them. See you soon.